Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Presidential governorship primaries, APC begins process. Bandits kill 7, abduct village head. Federal government puts Facebook under watch over IPOB. Amotekun success makes restructuring imperative, says Bauchi governor. EFCC relocates arrested accountant general. Soldiers chased away protesting students in Akure. And 9 die, many injured in Kano gas explosion. Okay, which story are we starting with?
You know, across the nation, Nigerian students are taken to the streets, saying that they are going to keep protesting the ASU strike till government does something about it. And so in Ilesha, Akure Owo Highway, they were protesting when these soldiers were on their way from another town and stopped to appeal to them to clear the road so that they can pass. But the students refused. And so the soldiers started shooting sporadically into the air, dispersing the students. Some motorists had to abandon their cars and everybody ran away. While they set up the protests in that area, they had placards on, they had to build tents, they were carrying out musical shows, some were cooking on the streets. But after the shooting, everybody dispersed. However, they were saying that some of them were injured, but they can't ascertain the number of people injured till now. But after a few hours of dispersing, they came back and continued protesting on the road.
Okay, let me take the major headline. We've all been waiting for these primaries, but it's about to start. So APC, they constituted 37 panels across the 36 states. And each of these panels will be electing the delegates. So what they're doing is now they're having about delegates will pick candidates in 28 states across the country, because there are some other states that are not doing elective because right now they don't have election in their states. So there'll be 5 delegates per ward, and they have about 8,809 wards across the country. They'll also be electing tomorrow the delegates, the 3 delegates per local government, who will be electing the presidential candidate. So these are exciting times for the APC. I mean, this is and all the major players are all lobbying. They are trying to consult. They like to use the word consultation in Nigeria.
Yes.
They're consulting, trying to see if they can get the delegates elected. So this panel will be electing the delegates, who will be electing the presidential candidate. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah. By Friday, though, we'll know those in the governorship who are going to be electing the governors.
So the EFCC has relocated the accountant general. You know that they are investigating this 80 billion, which was said to have, embezzled. So they relocated him from Kano, where he was arrested, to Abuja for further investigations. And they've also invited some of his relations and some consultants whose firms were believed to have been used for these activities. And they said the contract that was subject of this high-profile investigation was an award of a contract from the NDDC to a company linked to a company named Phil Gene Project Limited. And it's linked to the Patricia. I think you have
I have that story. So, okay. But I have a different story on
Nation.
So the death toll, we remember yesterday, right? There was a sad incident in Kano State where at first it was reported there was a bomb blast, but reports coming from Kano State and the police command there have corrected that, and they're saying that it was actually a cylinder that exploded at a business where they sell animal food. So, and that place is opposite the school. So a lot of people at first yesterday thought it was a school that had gone up, a bomb had gone off in the school, but it was actually this place opposite the school, even though, yes, we saw children covered in blood. And the death toll, I think as of yesterday, we heard it was 4, but from this report, we're hearing 9 people. Emergency, NEMA is there, and Red Cross, they're going to be there until everyone is rescued. The government says everyone, nobody leaves there until the rescue operation is done completely. But also to just put it out there, there wasn't a bomb blast and it wasn't the children's school.
It's important that we say this issue of, quick earlier reports. Apart from the eyewitnesses insisting that a bomb has just blasted school and their children were targets, the state police command earlier came out to say it was a gas explosion without finding out how. Only for NEMA to say that, it was about 9 bodies and it was a gas cylinder at a business.
Yes.
But now the Commissioner of Police account seems to be more accurate, saying that, a building from the bottom floor, not just a welder's shop, but a building at the bottom floor of it housed a business that, you know, the explosion happened and that building collapsed completely.
Wow.
And a part of the school collapsed. Those are verifiable facts. Yeah. So for eyewitnesses to be in this punch report still insisting.
So that's why
that's
always
trauma.
The traditional media is always the right source for information. Because when it's citizen journalism, everybody just wants to be a journalist. Oh, it was a bomb blast. Oh, they did this. But now we must remember that, yes, as fast as it might be, we have to verify from traditional media. We have to go back to be sure. Let's move quickly now to the punch. Deborah's mother can play to Benue churches adamant, insist on Sunday's protest. Alpha dismembers female customer, police recover body parts. Choose female deputies, Aisha Buhari tells presidential aspirants. Sits at home, Ebonyi Anambra grounded army police kill IPOB members. 9 killed in Kano, police residents disagree on explosion. Delta drug baroness busted, NDLE recovers cocaine, seals mansion. 3 killed in Ekiti crash, 13 rescued in Delta explosion. EFCC arrests ex-speaker, Ete, over 240 million NDDC contract. Abductees' families vow to stop Abuja-Kaduna train resumption. And Polytech lecturers plan indefinite strike from June, ASU knocks Nwajuiba. Okay, which stories are we starting?
So I have the EFCC have arrested the former one-time Speaker of the House of Reps, Patricia Ete. I know I did not take the NDLE story. Yes. Anyway, so this woman, she was Speaker House of Reps. About in 2011, there was a contract that was given by NDDC to a company called Philgene Project Limited to supply solar-powered street lights in some communities in Akwa Ibom. And the contract was for 240 million naira. They said initially when the contract was signed, 34 million was sent to the account. Eventually, 253 million was then sent to the account, making a total of 287 million. Meanwhile, the contract was actually 240 million. And then from that, the account, the Philgene account, they transferred 130 million into Patricia Ete's account, even though she's not a contractor, she's not a director in the company. And so EFCC wants her to explain why that transfer was made. They said she was at the EFCC office in Abuja yesterday, and up until 9 p.m., she was still there. She had not been released.
As a human interest story, so the Atiba Police Division, Oyo State Police Command, has arrested a suspect, Alpha Tia Miyu Abbas, for allegedly dismembering a hairdresser identified as Barakat in Oyo West local government area of the state. So the story happened that the residents of that area had been suspecting this Abbas 2 years ago when he moved in. They've been suspecting his activities. Then on May 15, they started perceiving something very horrible from his and traced it to his apartment. By the time they got there, they found dismembered bodies and some skulls on the floor, but he wasn't there. So I think about 11 p.m., he snuck in and he was seen by a young boy living with a nylon bag. And so he raised an alarm, they caught him, and they found the brain of a victim in that bag. So he's been taken to the police station. Investigations are ongoing. 2 weeks before, the husband to the young lady that was killed had notified Amotekun that the wife had gone missing, and she was a customer to Afa. Probably while she came for business, he was killed. So he killed her in connivance with one other person who is on the run. The police is looking after that, looking for that person. Very
important. Jobless affairs are not, it's not a job. So must be.
Let me take this, Deborah's mother, because Khan is planning a nationwide protest in Plateau states, Benue, churches, and across the country. So interestingly, some states actually have banned protests in their states. States like Kaduna, it's illegal to do open protests, and even Plateau states. So those governments have said, you can't protest on our streets. But Khan has responded and saying that they plan to actually, they understand that they don't plan to break the laws. What they plan to do is to run the protests within their churches. And for places where there aren't any Khan-registered churches, people should just protest within their churches, carry placards to insist for justice for Deborah, because they, according to them, it seems that the federal government, the state government actually, have watered down the charge, and they're putting aside the actual charge of murder, which really for them is the focus. Because we were talking in the papers yesterday where Onogura was also saying that is an insult to the sensibilities of Nigerians to reduce to reduce their charge to public disturbance.
Doesn't make sense. Doesn't relate.
Right.
But then the protest in the churches, who will see? Protest is for people
You call
to
media
see.
now.
No.
You call the media and cover them while they're in their complex. So we don't even know that if that's still illegal. I don't know.
No, they can do that, but I understand the reason. So just for context, Plateau State, Kaduna State, the sensitivity, yes. So I understand why they would want
Take
to
another story
keep
in
it.
punch before we rush off.
No.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
To Daily Sun. IPOB, federal government to monitor Facebook, other social media platforms. I won 2019 election, but robbed, says Atiku. Southeast now wiser, won't be deceived again, says Kano. 2023 primaries, INEC wants APC, PDP, others, cautions parties against conducting shady exercise. Presidency, Osinbajo, Saraki, Amechi, Bello, Tinubu, others, intensify consultations. Additional quits. We need president who believes in the unity of Nigeria, says Wike. ASU strike. No resumption of classes, no election in 2023. Students vow. Right. Okay, which story are we starting with?
The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, had a meeting with Facebook team in Abuja, and he said that they will begin to monitor closely the activities of Facebook and other social media platforms. And he also said that Facebook needs to put an end to the use of their platform by IPOB to instigate violence. And so IPOB is already being proscribed, and so Facebook needs to be intentional about what they allow them post on the page. He said especially IPOB members that are based abroad, that they use their broadcasts to reach thousands of their followers, and they tag those that are opposed to their violence, saying that they are saboteurs and they must be attacked. And so Facebook needs to do something about it, that his media team keeps reporting some of those posts to Facebook, and yet nothing is done about it. Now, right now, Nigeria is not going to take it lightly with them.
It's true. Very important. Facebook should be, the excesses should be curbed. This killing that happened in America recently, where this young man went into school, he was doing Facebook Live saying he was inspired by the Christ Church killing.
Right.
And mobbed and just went into a black community and killed so many people.
Yes, I remember
and,
that story.
how would that social media page take responsibility for it? Also, for them to, I was doing a correction over the weekend and posting things. The one I posted on Facebook was flagged off and called inciting. And I kept responding to them, that how is that? They just blocked it and they didn't allow the post to go. They said, it was inciting, but that was educating. And the person who was doing whatever didn't read through,
Okay, let me take the major headlines. So Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president of Nigeria, is saying that he won the 2019 elections. According to him, he was speaking in Kaduna. So he was robbed by the APC government using the instrument of the federal government, obviously, and incumbency power. According to him, PDP should have won that election, and that he's asking the delegates across the state to give him another chance. And once they gave him the ticket to be the presidential candidate for PDP, he'll obviously be able to win and do exactly what happened last year and during the last elections. He also assured the party delegates that if given the mandate, he would becomes president, he would address education, invest in education, he would address insecurity, create employment among others, and more of all, restructuring will be done. I think this was also echoed by the former governor of Kaduna State, Mohammed Ahmed Makafi, who said that PDP also agreed that PDP won the election back in 2019, and the party prays that this doesn't happen again, where the incumbency uses the federal power to steal their candidacy. Hey, politics is getting quite interesting. All right, any other story in Sun? We'll move on quickly now. Nobody read that. Okay, I'll read Kalu. Vanguard, how to make national development plans work. Why I can't run for presidency now, says additional. 2,340 APC delegates to elect presidential candidate. Deborah, police declare suspects in viral video wanted. 2023, U.S. vows to impose visa restrictions on promoters of violence. Soldiers fire gunshots to disperse students protesting ASU strike in Ondo. It's delusional, arrogance to give any group conditions for existence, Presidency tells NEF. You're not doing enough to stop IPOB from inciting violence, Lai Mohammed tells Facebook. And Nigeria in dire need of fresh starts, says Osinbajo, Kuka, and Fayemi. Okay.
Okay, let me just give an update on the murder of Deborah Samuel. So the police in Sokoto State have declared those 2 men that we saw in the viral video wanted, and they're being accused of culpable homicide. They're asking the public, to help with information on the suspects, and that even though on their part also they have deployed intelligence in looking for these people. Also, in response to the situation, NBA has said that they had been hearing that the state had called the charge against them is a breach of public peace. And as far as they're concerned, they feel that this is a trivialization, of the issue and of the situation, and they're asking that the state should have a rethink of its prosecution strategy and file charges that truly reflect the gravity of the situation. And they say that the prompt and effective prosecution of these alleged killers will instill confidence in the citizens, promote accountability, and also signpost government commitments to the rule of law.
Okay, so the federal government, through the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, has responded to the NEF's call on a group to, to leave the country. They're saying that, he says that, we are aware of the latest statement from the so-called Northern Elders Forum. We wish to reassure Nigerians that we remain their democratically elected leadership, which takes the decision that steer our nation and no one else. No self-appointed, unelected group can take this right from Nigerians, no matter how much coverage they might enjoy in the media. Nigerians listen to elected officers, not opinionated teen gods who have no traction with any responsible group. It is a delusional arrogance that would lead such a group to publicly state terms and conditions for the existence of our nation. We gave them the right to ask for the exclusion or expulsion of any one group. Who gave them the right to ask for the exclusion or expulsion of any one group or section of the country from the Federal Republic of Nigeria? And he continued the statement, but this is, I think, is very assertive. I commend him for this, and well done.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the United States has said that it will impose visa restrictions on anyone who promotes violence in the upcoming election 2023, and this was said by the Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Africa, Mr. Michael Gonzalez. He handed out this warning at the international conference with the theme United States Policy and Nigeria's National Decisions in the 2023 elections that was held in Johns Hopkins University. I think it was basically virtual. And they said that they are going to use messaging systems and other diplomatic channels to dissuade violence and ensure that there's a free and fair election that is carried out in 2023. And they are committed to working with Nigeria to uphold most of their conventions.
Okay, so the Chief Whip, Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu, has expressed his disappointment at the posture of South, South, and Southwest candidates for the presidency. According to him, the Southeast will support a northern candidate if they are not able to zone presidency to the Southeast. According to him, the Southeast was very instrumental in supporting during the time for the president, Olusegun Obasanjo, during the time for Vice President Osinbajo, during the time for Goodluck Jonathan. And now that it's the term for the presidency to come to the Southeast, candidates from the Southwest and even South Side are coming forward. So they want to run. So it's obvious that that zoning to the South does not mean zoning to the Southeast. And because of that, they would rather use their bloc support for the North and support so they feel somewhat betrayed, to paraphrase it.
As a family member that is betraying
a family member that betrayed, I'll go outside. So that's what Chief Orji Uzor Kalu is saying. Obviously, feeling quite disappointed that the Southwest and the South are not supporting the Southeast candidacy for this period. Moving on quickly to Vanguard, how to make national development plans work. I think I took this already.
Yes, the Vanguard you just
Sorry. Moving to Nigerian Tribune. 10 days to presidential primaries, Southern PDP leaders weigh fresh option. U.S. vows to impose visa restrictions on promoters of violence. Stop IPOB from using your platform to incite violence. FG tells Facebook. I'm not running for president, African Development Bank President Additional says.
Oh.
Gunmen list 10 Anambra local governments for attack. Deborah suspects can't be tried for mere breach of public peace, says NBA. Oshiomhole Fayemi trade words over rigging allegation. 9 bodies recovered at scene of Kano explosion. Okay.
Okay, I had to just take this story.
Who has the delusional?
I didn't take. I took Oshiomhole and the governor of Ekiti State, Governor Fayemi, trading words. So we had heard the former APC chairman, Oshiomhole, had said that, insinuated that maybe the governor of Ekiti State had tried to use him as a tool to rig an intra-party election, a primaries election. And the governor, in response to that, says that never happened. Everybody that knows me knows I'm a consummate Democrat. This could never have happened. You know how politicians can be, some rude words back and forth, but he was just trying to say that this is not anything that happened and it's a figment of his imagination, this whole story. That's it.
Okay.
You should sue him for defamation. That will this politician. I know talk, I know do him. If you know you didn't do it, sue him for defamation. Wait down and bring out evidence.
Move on.
Let's know exactly what we're doing.
We have to run. That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to Hot Topic of the Day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.